Hello and good evening, and welcome to this video tutorial that's going to cover BGP Conditional Route Advertisement. Now that may sound like a lot, but we're actually going to break BGP Conditional Route Advertisement down to 5 very simple steps. So I've got sort of a contrived scenario here where we're going to be advertising from our production facility, the 33, and again, excuse me, actually, these are /32s, so I'll have to change that. But we're going to be advertising this network here, and we're going to be advertising it up to the EVIL CORP ISP. And at the same time, we're going to be advertising our DR Facilities 44 network. Now, what BGP Conditional Route Advertisement is all about is both of those routes are going to show up here at the EVIL CORP ISP. But we are going to do conditional advertisement here at EVIL CORP ISP, and we're only going to advertise out the 33. Now, the reason it's called conditional route advertisement is if for whatever reason our production facility was destroyed, EVIL CORP is going to basically set up 2 prefix lists and 2 route maps. Very simple. And if the 33 goes away, which is going to be tracked in a non-exist map, in a route map, then EVIL CORP is going to advertise the 44 network. And again, these could be /24s, it could be 5, 20, 30 networks that you're advertising out here. And all you would have to do is sort of take the template we're going to look at, and then you would create a prefix list, and then your advertise-map is going to say that if the 33 goes away, then I advertise the 44. And that would mean that traffic coming in from the internet through EVIL CORP's ISP that's going down to the DR facility would be advertised out. And the scenario is, something similar to your production facility gets blown up. You have your DR facility where all of the servers have the same last octet per subnet, and you've got some sort of maybe a dynamic DNS type setup where you flip your DNS, and then everything that's going to www.yourcompany.com instead of going to the 33 is now pointing to the 44. And that conditional route advertisement right here with EVIL CORP, and all the work is done at the EVIL CORP ISP, and it's done auto-magically. You don't have to do anything. And by BGP standards, as you'll see, this is pretty fast. So it's not instantaneous. It certainly isn't millisecond quick, but it is pretty fast by BGP standards. And so again, that's all conditional route advertisement really is. It's basically saying that I'm going to receive a prefix here and a prefix from here, and if this prefix over here, which I'm tracking, goes away, then advertise this prefix or these prefixes. That could be multiple prefixes over here. So again, it's a simple if-then, and that's really all conditional route advertisement is doing. So let's hop onto the command line, and again, all of our time is really going to be spent on the EVIL CORP ISP router. So let's get logged in here. So here we are on the EVIL CORP ISP router. Now remember, we said the first step is going to be that we create 2 prefix lists. One to match the prefix that we're tracking that we want to exist, and then the other to basically match the prefix that we're going to be getting from router 4, which would be the one that we're going to advertise if the primary prefix, that 33, disappears. So it's very simple. We're going to say IP prefix list, and for the first prefix list, which is the one that we're going to be tracking the 33, we're going to say track _33 sequence 5 and permit. And so this is what we're going to be matching. So I'm matching that 33, right? Now the other prefix list is going to match the prefix that I'm going to advertise So advertise the 44 if my tracking of the 33 goes away. And it's kind of interesting. It's almost a little bit like policy routing in a way, right? Where we're kind of, or I shouldn't say policy routing, I guess maybe a better analogy would be like you're tracking an interface in HSRP, and that interface goes down, and then you immediately switch over to the other interface. So this is kind of the same thing, except we're doing it with BGP policy, and we're doing it for prefixes being received from different autonomous systems. So sequence number 5, and permit 44/32. So there's the two prefix lists. Again, if we had more prefixes and more networks that we were working with, you could track those, as well, or you could simply track one of them. In this scenario where our DR site or our production site gets blown up, if you're tracking one of those advertisements and it goes down, then you're probably good to go to then advertise out your quote-unquote conditional backup route. All right, so now that we've got the two prefix lists, now all we need are two very, very simple route maps. So we're going to say route map, and we're going to call them the same thing. So track_33, permit 10, and this is going to match IP address prefix list. Remember, you have to put prefix list there because we're using prefix lists. You could use access list, but remember, an access list is a packet filter, not a route filter. It was never really intended to be a route filter, although it did evolve into that. That's really not what it was. It was a packet filter. The prefix list, and the purist is going to tell you, the prefix list is your route filter. And so there's a lot of things that you can do in prefix lists that you can't do with access lists. So always try to use a prefix list. All right, so we're going to say match IP address prefix list track_33. And that's it. That is all that is in that route map. And now we create another route map. And we're going to call this route map, you guessed it, advertise the 44. Permit 10 and match IP address prefix list advertise_44. Now the names that I'm using do not have to match. I'm simply using names that do match, like track 33 for the route map, as well as the prefix list, just to make it so that there's some sort of commonality. So the track 33 prefix list is being referenced in the track 33 route map, and the advertise 44 prefix list is being used in the advertise 44 route map. All right, so we've got our match IP address prefix list advertise 44, and that's it. So we've created two prefix lists, we've created two route maps, and now we're kind of down to the final step. And this is simply where we apply our route maps, both of the route maps, to a single neighbor statement. Now, remember from the drawing, we said it's the upstream neighbor, because the conditional advertisement is going to be out this way, right? It's going to be out to whoever else I am peering with, and that's why you set it so. And when I say it's out this way with whoever you're peering with, it's depending upon which neighbor we apply it to. So obviously we're applying it here to router 2 because we want to make sure that, out here on the rest of the internet, these connections go out here. Who knows? Maybe this is AT&T that's connected into EVIL Corp or Sprint. And so the rest of the way out on the internet, everybody coming in is only going to see that advertisement that AT&T is advertising out based off of our conditional route advertisement there. All right, so let's finish this up. And again, it's very simple. It's sort of a five-step procedure. So we're going to say router BGP 1.1, address family IPv4 unicast, and let's see what we have now. Do show run section BGP. So there's our current setup. So we're basically going to take our neighbor statement with router 2, 198.51.12.2, and you have to put the advertise-map statement first. So if I do a question mark, and this is where we're applying two route maps to the same neighbor statement. So we have an advertise-map and then a non-exist map. And they do exactly what you think they do. The advertise map is going to reference the route map that is for the conditional advertisement. So this advertise map refers to route map advertise 44. You'll notice that the non-exist map, the statement's not here because, again, we need to put the advertise, and we're going to have to go all the way out there, advertise map, and this is where we put the route map advertise 44. And now when I do a question mark, you can see we have the non-exist map. And so it says advertise prefix only if prefix in the condition does not exist. And again, it's a very simple if-then. So if the prefix that I am matching in the non-exist map doesn't exist, then I'm going to advertise the prefix in my advertise map. So very, very straightforward. So let's go ahead and get our statement in here for non-exist map. And then this is simply, we're tracking, I'm sorry, not tracking 44, we're tracking 33. So we're tracking the 33 to see what happens. So before we do this, let's go to router 2. So here's router 2. We'll say it's AT&T out on the internet. I say show IP BGP, and what do we see? So we see both advertisements right now. But this isn't necessarily what we want. We don't want to be advertising the 44 because we don't want traffic going down to our DR facility unless we need to flip the switch. So that's what we're going to do here. We come back over to router 1. I'm going to hit enter. Now, this is something where you're going to have to do typically, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have to do it here, where you're typically going to have to do a route refresh, right? Both inbound and outbound. So if I were to come back over here and basically say do clear IP BGP star soft, right? This is going to do a soft reconfiguration inbound and a soft reconfiguration outbound. And also, very important point, I'll go ahead and hit enter. If I say do show run section BGP, what did you notice about the advertise map? So we have two route maps that we're referencing here. Now we don't say route-map, but we have an advertise map and a non-exist map. What is missing that typically accompanies your route maps that you're applying to neighbor statements? Exactly. Typically what you're going to end up seeing is inbound or outbound, right? In or out. And so we don't see that here. So keep that in mind, that there really is no directionality because it's applied to this neighbor, and we could apply, again, we could apply this to other neighbors as well, but because it's applied to this neighbor, the filtering will be done right here. So in other words, that conditional advertisement is going to be done right here. So if I come back up here to router, well, let's say do show IP BGP here on router 1. So you can see that EVIL Corp sees both of the advertisements, right? But let's go to router 2. What does router 2 see? Show IP BGP, does it look different? It certainly does. So take a look at that. So our conditional advertisement has definitely been picked up. And so right now, what router 1 is doing, what the EVIL Corp ISP router is doing, it's saying, as long as I see the 33 in my BGP rib, not the global rib, but the BGP rib, as long as the 33 is in the BGP rib, then we're good. I'm not going to advertise the 44. But if the 33 does not exist, the non-exist map, so if the 33 goes away, then I'm going to advertise the prefix or prefixes that I'm matching in my advertise map. And there's your condition, right? If, then. That's the condition. So we look at router 2, and we see that it only sees the 33. So now let's come over to router 3, who is the originator of the 33 network. This is our production site, and we're going to simulate here, loopback 33, and we're going to say shut. And so what we're doing here is we're basically simulating, and in fact, I don't even have to do this. I could go as far as to say, interface FA01 do show IP interface brief. So let's make it as realistic as we can here. So I'm going to shut the interface down, and that's really going to make it look as if our facility has been destroyed, right? So, excuse me. So the production facility, I hit enter. That link is going to go down between router 3 and router 1. That's going to cause the adjacency to change. So let's come back up here now and say do show IP BGP. And we only see the 44. So remember, EVIL Corp has the advertise map and the non-exist map set up. So we come back here to router 2 and we say show IP BGP. Now you'll notice we don't see anything. And remember my comment, this is going to be quick by BGP standards, and there you go. So we were probably about 45 seconds, I would say, and the BGP Conditional Route Advertisement, the route map that got applied in the non-exist map, saw that the 33 disappeared from EVIL Corp's BGP rib, and then therefore it's going to look at its advertise map because it knows it's doing a conditional advertisement to router 2 that if the 33 is not there, then advertise the 44. And that's it. So that is BGP Conditional Route Advertisement in a nutshell. And in fact, if I were to come back over here to router 1 and let me see, was it show BGP IPv4 unicast neighbors and 198.51.12.2, and I think it is no, not include. Let's go begin condition. See what happens here. So yeah, there we go. Okay, this is exactly what I was looking for. So you can see when we do a show IP or show BGP IPv4 unicast neighbors for router 2, take a look at what we see here. And you got to love this, right? Great information to be found in the neighbors command because this tells us our condition map is track 33. So if the 33 is there, we're good. But if the 33 disappears, then advertise out what we're matching in our advertise map route statement, or route map, sorry. And what is the status right now? Well, the status is we are advertising it, right? So this tells us from router 1's perspective, hey, I don't see the 33 and I am advertising the 44. So now let's go ahead and to kind of wrap things up here, on router 3, we're going to go ahead and say the facility has been rebuilt or the line has been unbackhoed, and we're going to say no shut. So we're bringing back, the link, which is going to reintroduce, you can see there the interface came up, and then we're going to see the BGP peering should come back up, and there's our BGP peering. So now let's say show IP BGP here on router 1. So EVIL Corp now has the 33 back. So what do you think happens when EVIL Corp realizes the 33 is back? So it shows both, right? And it's going to have both of them in there. And then let's give it about 45 seconds here. Give it some time. And again, very fast by BGP standards in terms of how quickly this is happening. And take a look at that. That was right around, I'd say, 30 seconds. And our non-exist map sees that it's the 33 that it's tracking, the 33 network that it's tracking is back in the BGP rib. And then therefore, it's really suppressing the 44 on the EVIL Corp router. So now router 2 is back under the impression that he only has a route to the 33. So our final check is going to be back over here on the EVIL Corp router, and we are going to do the show IP BGP neighbors command again. And let's see what the condition map now shows. So we've got our condition map here. We're tracking the 33. There's the advertise map statement. There's our route map advertise 44, our route map track 33. And what is the status? The status is withdraw. So we are withdrawing the 44. And again, I'm using the term suppress, but it's showing that we have withdrawn the advertisement, whatever the ADV_44 route map is matching is being withdrawn, and that we're sticking with the 33 because we see that in the EVIL CORP ISP BGP rib. All right, well, let's transition back here to the drawing. And so that is BGP Conditional Route Advertisement in a nutshell. You may come up with other applications for the conditional advertisement. This is certainly just one scenario where conditional route advertisement could solve a problem that you're trying to address. But again, that is BGP Conditional Route Advertisement in a nutshell. Very straightforward. 2 prefix lists, again, depending on how many networks you're trying to match. 2 route maps, and it's going to reference as many prefix lists as you create. And then you simply apply those route maps to the neighbor whom you want the conditional advertisement to apply. And so let me make sure that we do that. So show run section BGP. And this is going to be our final look here. And so that's really all we've got. We've got an advertise map saying that we're going to advertise the 44 if that doesn't exist. All right. Well, thanks so much for watching. I hope this has given you a better idea and maybe given you some ideas as to how you can take the BGP conditional route advertisement and apply it into your own network. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.